General Hospital shocker. Felicia reveals Jason's secret. They team up to save Daisy. Felicia Scorpio stood on the rooftop of General Hospital, staring down at the bustling streets of Port Charles. She hadn't expected to get pulled back into the whirlwind of secrets and danger, but the mystery surrounding Daisy, Maxie's new assistant, had dug its claws into her. Daisy was kind, clever, and seemingly harmless. But something about her eyes told a different story, one filled with fear, trauma, and something else. Something darker. It all began a week earlier when Daisy had nearly fainted during a Crimson photo shoot. Maxie, concerned for her, insisted she go to GH for tests. Felicia had accompanied her. While waiting for results, Daisy kept glancing around the room like someone was watching her. Then, without warning, Daisy had clutched Felicia's arm and whispered, "If they find me, I'm dead." Felicia knew that kind of fear. She'd seen it in victims during her years as a private investigator. This wasn't just paranoia, this was survival. And now, standing here, she had a name. Someone Daisy trusted. Someone she wasn't even supposed to know was alive. Jason Morgan. Jason Morgan had been operating in the shadows since his shocking return from the dead again. Only a few people knew he was back. Anna, Carly, and now Felicia. He was living under the radar in a safe house on the outskirts of Port Charles, healing from a bullet wound and quietly investigating a string of disappearances tied to a mysterious international group trafficking vulnerable women through Port Charles. He didn't have names yet, but he had faces, and one of them belonged to Daisy. Felicia showed up unannounced at the safe house, shocking Jason with her presence. "I thought you were dead," she said flatly. "I was," Jason replied. "Apparently that's my thing." Felicia didn't waste time. "I think Daisy's involved in something huge. She trusts you. You've got to tell me what's going on." Jason was hesitant. "It's too dangerous. I can't risk exposing her or you." "You don't have to," Felicia said. "We'll work together. Like old times. You're good at taking down people who hide in the dark. I'm good at making them talk." Jason finally nodded. "All right. But this doesn't leave us. Not even Anna knows the full picture." And so began a secret alliance, Jason and Felicia, two unlikely partners in a race to uncover the truth and protect Daisy from the shadows threatening to consume her. Daisy sat on the park bench, nervously folding the paper crane Jason had once taught her to make. Her fingers trembled. It had been years since she escaped the compound in Ukraine. Years since she changed her name and buried her past. She had thought she was free. Until she saw him in Port Charles. Viktor Novik. He had been one of the commanders at the compound. Daisy hadn't seen him since she was smuggled out in a locked crate by a rogue agent, Jason Morgan. She never forgot what he risked to save her. And now she feared he'd pay for it. Felicia approached her gently. "Daisy, we need to talk." "About Viktor." Daisy's eyes widened. "You know? Jason told me everything," Felicia whispered. "And I'm here to help." "No," Daisy said, panicking. "You can't. He'll kill you. He's killed others. There was another girl, Karina. She tried to talk. They found her in the river." Felicia sat down beside her. "Then we stop him. You're not alone, Daisy. Jason and we're going to bring this down. But we need your help." Daisy hesitated, then slowly nodded. "I still have the ledger. It has names, ports, contacts. I kept it hidden, just in case. That ledger would blow the case wide open." In a candlelit safe house, Jason spread the documents Daisy retrieved across the table. Felicia scanned the names, politicians, doctors, even someone from the WSB. This wasn't just trafficking. This was a global operation, using Port Charles as a gateway. "Holy hell," Felicia muttered. "These people are powerful." Jason nodded. "Which means we need to move carefully. We expose them without warning, they'll vanish, and they'll take Daisy with them." Felicia sighed. "And we can't go to the police?" Jason shook his head. "Not yet. Someone inside the Peace PD might be compromised. We do this on our terms." Their plan was simple but dangerous. Use the ledger to bait Viktor into a meeting. Jason would confront him. Felicia would secure the evidence with Maxie's help. Daisy would be moved to a safer location, somewhere even Jason didn't know. They had 72 hours to pull it off. Felicia hesitated, but eventually told Maxie the truth. Her daughter was stunned, not just about Jason being alive, but about Daisy's secret. Daisy? My Daisy? Maxie asked in disbelief. She brings me coffee, Mom. She saves my Instagram lives when I ramble too much. She's not a spy. She's not, Felicia replied. But she's a survivor. Maxie's expression turned from shock to resolve. What do you need? I need you to help us sneak a digital copy of the ledger into the Crimson Vaults. That way, if something happens, it's already on record with a timestamp and public eyes. Maxie nodded. You got it. For Daisy. Jason arranged the meeting with Victor at Pier 54. He posed as a black market buyer interested in reactivating the trafficking ring in exchange for silence. Victor took the bait. Interesting, Victor said in his Russian-accented English. And who are you again? Jason stepped out of the shadows. Someone you should have killed when you had the chance. Victor's eyes narrowed. Morgan. I know everything, Victor. About the ledger. The compound. Karina. Daisy. Victor smiled coldly. And what are you going to do? Shoot me in broad daylight. No, Jason replied. But I will end you. Just then, Felicia sent the signal. A red light flashed in the distance. Maxie had uploaded the files. The information was out. There was no going back. Victor snarled. You think this will stop us? No, Jason replied. But it'll bury you. Shots rang out. Jason tackled Victor just as the man pulled a knife. The fight was brutal, messy, raw. But Jason won. By the time the police arrived, tipped off by Maxie anonymously, Victor was unconscious. The ledger was viral, and Jason had vanished again into the night. 3 weeks later, Felicia walked Daisy through a garden outside town. It was a quiet safe house run by a friend of Anna's. The news had blown up, the human trafficking ring had been dismantled, several high-profile arrests made across state lines and abroad. Victor was in federal custody, denied bail. His empire was burning. Daisy looked healthier, freer. You saved me, she whispered to Felicia. You saved yourself, Felicia replied, hugging her. Jason and I just lit the path. Daisy looked around. Will I ever see him again? Felicia smiled sadly. Jason isn't the kind to say goodbye. He just watches from the shadows and makes sure you're okay. Late one night, Felicia returned home and found a folded piece of paper on her kitchen table. No sign of forced entry. No movement on her cameras. Just the note. Felicia, thank you. You were right to trust her. Keep her safe. If you ever need me again, you know where to look. J. She folded the note with care and placed it in her journal. Maxie would never know the full extent of the danger her assistant had faced. Port Charles would move on, oblivious to the bullet they'd dodged. But Felicia knew. She knew that sometimes, heroes wore leather jackets and hid in shadows. And sometimes, a mother, a daughter, and a ghost from the past were all that stood between evil and the innocent.